a 5, a 6, a 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3.
Ducky joint.
Ducky joint.
What are you gonna say we're back? DJ Ducky Joint.
We're back. My name is Scott McRae.
Brandon Brown.
Askhats.
What's going on, guys?
Just living life to the fullest.
What are we doing on this fine Sunday morning?
Sunday morning.
Pretty good.
Not bad. It's my day off from work. I woke up this morning and I couldn't decide if I wanted to spend my one day off doing nothing or doing something. That was the big conundrum. I ended up choosing doing nothing.
Yeah, it is.
But for like a solid 47 seconds, I was like,
I'm gonna do something.
I might do something.
Yeah. Good for you, man.
How about you? How's it going?
Not bad at all. So stinky because I didn't shower.
Goddamn hot water.
No hot water. Yeah, I got in the cold shower and was like cold and wet, and then just
Take a
damp.
cold
And
shower.
I was like, no.
I thought it was just me. I was trying to take a shower this morning. I was like, we must have used all our hot water for the month.
Could you imagine?
Our allotted amount of hot
Yeah,
water.
right.
That'd be sick. I woke up this morning, took a full cold shower, and just got back in bed and felt like shit afterwards.
Yeah, we used up our allotted hot water. We live in communist Russia, by the way, so.
I think you're supposed to take cold showers every once in a while.
You are
It's
supposed to take cold
good for your, what is it? Your nerve, not your something.
Immune system? Nervous
I mean, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's sucking. It doesn't feel good for my anything.
Well, you heard it from Doc Askhats. take cold showers every now and then. Doc Scott. That's just confusing. We cannot work in the same medical practice. But yeah, how are you, man?
Yeah, pretty good.
He was living life to the fullest. Did you not hear him in the beginning?
Yeah,
I mean,
goddamn right.
There's a full gallon of life lived.
And I'm drinking it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking, I woke up super early this morning, got a decent amount of sleep, and thought I was gonna get up and be productive, and then I didn't. I just took my cold shower and got back in bed for a solid like 3 hours afterwards.
Tough on the cold shower feels like it's like go back to bed. It's like you're not supposed to be up right now.
I felt like shit immediately.
It's not like welcoming you to the day.
But we're back now.
Back in action.
Back
Back
at it.
better than ever. The sun's out, feeling great.
Episode 8. It feels like we've had like
Bars.
7 episodes before this or something like that.
It does.
Feels like we have like a whole week's worth of episodes leading up to this one.
Yes, but if weeks were every week, and then we just totaled all the weeks up and made it one week.
I meant number. There's seven days in a week.
Weeks.
If weeks happened every week.
To quote Alex Jones, I have to admit sometimes I'm a little bit stupid.
To paraphrase.
To paraphrase.
What are those little square parentheses things called?
Brackets.
Are they really just called brackets?
Parentheticals, right?
The fuck are you talking about? Dude, they've been brackets for months. Alright. You're not about to do this to me.
I could be wrong on that.
The fuck is a parenthetical?
It's supposed to be like, I think it's like an interjection of it's like, well, so if I'm talking about something and then all of a sudden I put brackets around something I'm talking about, that's
You mean if you put parentheticals around it? Oh.
I think it becomes a parenthetical. I don't think they
But like
are.
it is a bracket.
It is a bracket,
that
yeah. I
is
think it
then
forms
defined as
the
a
parenthetical, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think English majors,
Hey, between you and me, fucking brackets.
please, English majors out there, help us.
Parentheticals? I've never heard that. It's a hypothetical parentheses.
It's a paranormal. I'm a Ghostbuster.
Fucking, yeah, dude, sometimes I'm a little bit stupid. I like
You know what I was thinking about for like the last 2 days? So I've always thought like bank robberies were a cool concept, and like I've always loved bank.
You love heist movies.
Like I loved heist movies. They loved. I still love them.
Okay.
When you sit down to watch a movie, I've seen you put on so many bad heist movies just on the basis that they're heist movies.
Yeah,
Just super cool.
Same. It could be the same plot line for every damn movie, and I'll watch it if it's a different movie. You know.
I love that.
Part of that comes from the fact that I always thought it would be cool to do a bank heist. You know. I always thought that would be a pretty interesting thing to pull off or attempt to pull off, and I don't know. For some reason, the last 2 days I've just been like planning a bank heist on an imaginary bank.
Right. So what's
So I created the bank heist around a bank that fits my plan perfectly. I'm not really sure the bank exists.
Right.
But it works for me. Yeah.
Yeah,
You two are definitely on the crew.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
I'm implicating you without your
So what's the
consent.
payout here for this imaginary bank that we're...
It's like 300 grand.
Total?
Total?
Yeah.
Whew.
Total, so each we're getting only 100,000?
Yeah.
Life on the line.
But it's a small town bank.
Life on the line for 100 bands.
Yeah.
That's a toughie.
It's a toughie.
You know, just because 100 bands seems so achievable by other means.
Right.
It'd have to be a...
Like, let's work out a little and become high class like call girls. Like
something.
Oh.
Dude, get that
It's still, the brainstorming is still...
Get that bullshit.
No, I love it though. Yeah, this is.
We don't fuck with them. They don't fuck with us. We don't fuck with them. You feel me?
I hope I have to like blur
Ain't
out
no
here.
free press.
I'm not sure. This is
Ain't no free press.
This is an inconspicuous coffee cup that has... Yeah, it's brown and green. That's it.
Mhm.
It's
It's
big,
brown and green.
It's beige and verde.
That's not beige.
It's not beige.
Not the colors.
It's not.
It's not beige.
He's back. So yeah, I don't know if I'm down for this bank robbery. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay, well, I'll come back with a different plan.
Different
next
plan.
Yeah, I need
You gotta
money.
up the reward, yeah, for sure.
Bigger bank.
Bigger bank.
The Federal Reserve.
Dude, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like if we're gonna do this, let's go big.
Yeah, because like we're probably gonna get murked. So like there has to be promise of so much more money than 100 bands.
But here's the thing. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, back. We'll
Reshots.
Damn, I like it.
We'll get back into that. We'll talk about that off camera.
We'll make sure the camera's there all the time.
I was just showing Scott, I don't think you were there, a video of this girl, I can't remember her name, singing Rihanna's Man Down.
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ.
And she goes crazy. It's on YouTube. It has like, wasn't it like 30 something million
Yeah.
views. Goes crazy. Look up Rihanna Man Down cover if you want to see it.
Wow, they'll throw it. Yeah, throw it in the description.
And she goes crazy, and it made me realize that like I only like that song Man Down by Rihanna. Have you heard it?
Probably.
I only like that song because of that cover. Like I found it a long time ago, and the way this girl performs the song and like sings it and puts the emotion behind it that really should be behind that song is what made me like it, as opposed to Rihanna's like mainstream poppy version that she released that just didn't feel like anything. It just felt like another song. And then that got me and Scott talking about the possibility of like really good, meaningful songs being hidden beneath pop songs that have been like made mainstream.
Yeah, definitely.
If we just don't really pay attention to what the song's really talking about and shit, possibly.
Or like even the way the song was written, because that's the thing with like Man Down is like you hear they hear the kid like playing the piano and stuff, and like the piano part's actually lovely. It's beautiful and the melody is awesome. But when you listen to the Rihanna version, you don't get any of those things. The melody's washed out by like a big like bass, you know, and it's like it's supposed to be like a pop song, like. Which I wonder how many songs out there exist. Like, because the one I was thinking about, we were talking about this the other day, Gwen Stefani's "Sweet Escape" featuring Akon. I love that song, but it's like it's a horrible song. Like, but it's also extremely well written if you take away the woohoo, woohoo, and like the 2000 like glitzy production. But it's really well written.
Do you feel like when you listen to the cover artist, sing that song, like it was actually like you caught different meaning in it from when you heard it the original time in any of these songs, or just like do you think it was the way that they sung it that added meaning to it? Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, not like, was it maybe there the whole time? And
it was there the whole time.
That's what we mean.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like it was there the whole time, and that because it was made to be like so mainstream and poppy that you don't catch that until it's put differently.
Yeah, I feel like that became a big thing in like the late 2010s was cover artists becoming, especially with YouTube.
That's
platform.
a great point.
I remember like when Justin Bieber came out, there was a huge like wave of people doing cover art songs because that was also a time of like really bad pop songs. Like, and then people were like, well, this is a fun song to sing, and then people had so much to offer in terms of different styles, better voices, and like. Yeah, I think it's interesting that there's not more credit for cover artists making a song better than it is, and I get the argument that like, oh, it's their original song, right? But a lot of artists, they're not even their original song. It's like they're singing basically a cover of somebody else's song.
Especially as samplings become a thing that's become an increasingly easy thing to argue when something's original.
Yeah, but I think he's referring to like ghostwriting.
Ghostwriting,
yeah. But yeah, exactly. I think that it would be there should be opportunity for like cover.
I mean, there was the girl that did Carmen or Cameron. It was one of those two. The girl that did the Look At Me Now cover, the Chris Brown shit. And then she did the whole Busta Rhymes part too. And she like did it on the piano.
Oh yeah, I do remember.
She like blew up.
Yeah.
She like was famous after that.
So yeah, I guess there is, yeah.
But even then, that's an interesting point. So
But
that
it's
almost
just
is to your point that like with the
Yeah.
YouTube kind of like it's sanctioned to YouTube, that it's like, oh, all these like covers
It really
on
is.
Yeah,
YouTube.
but I mean that's like
That makes
the
sense.
same for a lot of things.
Yeah,
It's like
definitely.
a lot of people just are sectioned off to YouTube.
Yeah.
Like fucking people who do reaction videos to certain shit are sectioned to YouTube, and then they tried to get that Lily Singh girl and give her a TV show, and it's Ash.
It's Ash.
She's not funny.
I wonder if that would be the same thing
She's
for
YouTube funny.
those cover
it's
artists.
like, it's like they're not. Maybe they're not necessarily cut out to be mainstream artists. They're cut out to be
have that
YouTube
15
artists.
minutes, and that's a good point. That's a really interesting way to look at the YouTube almost like bubble.
But it would be cool for like we were talking about our friend creating an app yesterday. It'd be cool to have sort of a similar platform to Spotify where you look up songs and only get cover artists.
That would be really
or something
neat.
like that.
Or even almost like the Instagram live thing where it's like video. You could even do a video thing. I don't know how Spotify would make that work, but that's all programming and stuff. But it would be really, really neat. Have kind of like almost like the illusion of the homegrown artist going through Spotify. So that would be in their favor, considering the CEO was like, if you make music every 4 years, you can expect to get paid. So you know, we'll take what we
I
get.
also wonder like how much devotion there is to the original artist singing
The source
the song.
material.
Because like I know for a lot of artists, I know from my own personal bias that I'd be like, that's not like I'd be like the original person does it way better. Like even if it was.
Oh yeah, it's just like
Yeah.
You're also gonna call a break right here. We'll be right back. We are back.
we've returned.
Talking about cover artists.
But yeah, I feel like it's kind of like that thing that happened with Jacquees and LMA, where it was like I don't think it was Boot Up. I think it was a different LMA song. Fuck. I can't think of the name. But Jacquees released, Jacquees is like a cover artist for the most part. Like he has his own original music, but him and Tory Lanez are like known for covering other people's songs and like pretty much elevating the fuck out of them. But Jacquees covered Trip, I think, by LMA, and it was like way better than the original by her, and she got it taken down from every single platform that he would, like YouTube, Spotify app. You could not find that shit anywhere. And then like it was going on for a while where he would try to post it on Twitter and shit. People, like fans, would try to like screen record it and then post it on Twitter, and it would get taken the fuck down. Like she was doing work to nigga, I wanted it to be like this, fuck you type shit. And
yeah, and I guess there is, because like the original topic was pop song or bad,
like good songs,
good songs hidden in
not necessarily bad
mainstream
songs,
pop.
like you don't
the
catch
run,
it.
So I guess there is something to be said about like certain artists creating a song and doing it a certain way because that's the way they wanted to do it and that's the way they see it. But like, and I get that. So then it would be different kind of for if it was a song then that you didn't put work into to make your own. It's kind of just like something you're doing for the record company or whatever. So I guess there's a distinction. But also like, you know, there's no rules against doing cover songs, right? Covers for songs.
You have to get approval, but besides that, outside of that, like in terms of the Billboard charts or anything, there's no rules. Yeah, you can chart if you're a cover song.
So then it's basically like doing something yourself too, like if you do it in a different way or your own.
Yeah,
it's like your own original
It's just
thing.
the fact that you didn't come up with it at all, and it's like a guaranteed fact that you didn't come up with it. Whereas the artist could still be like, oh well, I wrote this part and this part of the song, even if some of it's ghostwritten.
Definitely. Yeah, that's a good point.
But like if you cover it, then it's 100% ghostwritten.
Yeah.
And there's no question.
Yeah, and then and there's something to be said for like it's because there's the ghostwriting that they wrote all the music and stuff. But I will say for like arranging, when you like people who like arrange covers and stuff like that, like Lionel Havas, like she really she covered a Radiohead song on her most recent album. She's like an R&B artist, so it's like super left field for a Radiohead cover. But the arrangement's like so original that it's like it is like her song effectively. You know, like sure she's saying the Tom York lyrics and stuff, but it's so much her own identity behind the song that it's like it basically is hers. So it's kind of it is this weird thing where like you were saying with almost like the laziness. I guess you could almost do like just like I'm just gonna cover this song because I need a ninth song on my album or whatever, you know. But there is that like if you genuinely put work into it, like you can really make a song your own.
I mean, I'm not saying that you can't. I'm saying that it will most likely be argued that it's still not your song. No matter how much work you put into arranging it, you didn't write the lyrics guaranteed. Whereas the original artist can say, I wrote one lyric on this song, and that's their effort towards the song. You arrange it, good job, but you could have arranged that same thing and put different lyrics on it. You know what I mean? So like that, there's a gap there where it's like the arranging part and then the lyrics. And like, sure, you put all this effort into arranging it, but then you jump that gap and you were lazy with the lyrics.
Gotcha.
Not necessarily lazy, but you know what I mean? Like,
I totally feel you,
you didn't do anything.
You're just copying and pasting,
And to your point though, I think that it works out in a different sense for a cappella groups.
Like a pentatonics I was thinking of.
Because I've been thinking about that this whole time.
I've been waiting for a moment.
God, I hate pentatonics.
They're considered an original group, right? But they do covers of songs, and like they don't have the beat, obviously, or they do, but it's with their voices. So, but like people think about acapella groups as like their own thing, like that's halfway between. Because people look at cover artists as cover artists.
Right.
You're doing someone else's song, but then when it comes to like acapella, it's like you're halfway between like covering a song and making your own original thing, and where's that distinction except for making the sounds with your mouth? Yeah,
I was about to say, I think that is really it. Like just because a cappella groups make the sound with their mouths, people are like, oh well, since they're thinking so actively while they're performing, you know what I mean? Because you have to go in between, right here you're singing and then right here you're the instrument. Since they're so active in their performance, it doesn't really matter if it's their song or not.
There's the novelty.
Whereas, when you sit down, go into a recording studio and record something, and it's like you have all the time, not necessarily all the time in the world, but like it's not right there, right then.
That is how people view it, though. That is a great point. That is how people think about it.
It's like since it's so right there, and it's like you can see them making the instruments before you, and it's like, damn, that's tough. It kind of goes out of your mind that it's not their song and all that shit. You're more interested in the fact that they're creating so much themselves. Whereas in a fucking studio, you're putting all that work into arranging it, but it's like you don't see that. You don't see.
It's
kind
of like what live cover bands, because you watch them play it live and actually do it, even though it's somebody else's arrangement. But like you're still enjoying it as if it's a live concert. Exactly.
That's an interesting point. Yeah, people will go to see Kiss cover bands all day, but when they go home, they're gonna listen to Kiss. You know? Like that's
you're not gonna look up Kiss covers on YouTube. You're gonna listen to Kiss.
Yeah. It's funny. Although I like the idea of a bunch of impersonators dressing up and. No, that's really interesting. I wonder, because now I'm so curious to do a deep dive of sort of pop songs I liked as a kid, and almost see if try to like rearrange them and like really try to like find some like golden nuggets that are just lost to 2000 production. I'm sure there are many.
You mean like Alien by Katy Perry and Kanye West? Is that what that song's called? Alien? I'm an alien.
Oh, is that the one where she's like talking about being like
Extraterrestrial?
Oh,
Extraterrestrial,
I think it might be
yeah.
called Extraterrestrial. Is it called
Or
Extraterrestrial?
maybe it is Alien.
I don't remember. Katy Perry.
I just
know
remember
that song.
Extraterrestrial.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
isn't
the
she
only
like
part I remember.
in love with like an alien or
Yeah,
something like that?
maybe.
Yeah, problematic.
I got a dirty mind. I got filthy ways.
Man, it is wild to think that 2000s pop was like this bubble where Kanye West and Katy Perry could coexist.
Hey, nigga, they were running shit. Too.
Yeah.
Like they were top of like
They were running
cream of the
shit.
crop. That's
I mean,
wild.
like Beyonce and Rihanna were still going crazy,
But they were also in another lane,
yeah,
right?
Katy
Like,
Perry was running shit for a minute.
it was like every year she had 3 or 4 songs in the charts, and it was you couldn't escape them. They were just always there, no matter.
I remember her come up, bro. I remember fucking Hot and Cold and I Kissed a Girl being big
Oh
and
my
shit.
God.
Yeah. What?
And then was after that was the Snoop Dogg feature and stuff. And
Yeah,
that was
California
like
Girls
California
and all that.
Girls and that.
Yeah.
That was all elementary school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. That was like a
Yeah.
long ass time.
Did you guys ever read that book, Stargirl?
Mm-hmm.
Stargirl?
Spoilers ahead for Stargirl.
I don't know why. I just, that's like what I think of when you mention like Katy Perry's come up with I Kissed a Girl. I'm like, yeah, it was just this book we read in elementary school.
Good.
I think it's about a girl in high school or middle school or something, and she's weird.
Her name is
She's
Katy.
different. No, her name's Stargirl. And she's different, and she runs a like a radio show or something at her school.
Oh, she's Radio Rebel.
Basically.
Oh!
But I'm not really sure.
Which I think Radio Rebel, according to my mom, is actually a remake of a film from the 80s. Yeah, I wish I could.
They did a whole
ask her about
string
it.
of like remakes because they did 16 Wishes or whatever.
Oh, 16,
yeah.
yeah.
16
Candles,
Candles, which is
yeah.
a remake of it. They did a bunch of remakes for old like
80s teen movies, yeah. I would love a 2020 Breakfast Club. I think a 2020 Breakfast Club would be
horrible.
so
I disagree.
Yeah, it'd be so
interesting.
bad.
So bad.
You think it'd be too forced?
Yeah.
You think it'd be like, we only have 5 kids. How are we gonna get all the groups in there? How are we?
I was about to say, yeah, it's gonna be representation.
Yeah, it's
gonna be
representation.
representation galore.
And they're gonna be like,
There's
well,
gonna
we
be so
can't
many-
put the brown kids in
There's gonna be
detention.
so many. And there's gonna be so many mental illnesses displayed throughout
Everything,
the students.
everything.
And, yeah.
Yeah, and the teacher's gonna be a bad power.
It's like
there's gonna be
a-
a bad power struggle
The
between
teacher's
the
gonna be
kids.
rich.
Yeah, rich and white and
It's like
straight
it's
and-
always sunny when they're like switching off Murtaughs. If they're switching off mental illnesses, they're like, wait, which one of us is bipolar? they're like, which one of us is schizophrenic? And they're like going around the room just like figuring out. They're like, I forgot. Like I'm switching every day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, am I non-binary too? Like I can't remember anymore. Like the white kid shows up in blackface. They're like, what are we doing? Like what?
It wasn't switch day?
White kid shows up in whiteface. They're like, guys, what is going on this set?
We all thought it was switch day.
Yeah, I guess Breakfast Club in 2020 would be a disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Ferris Bueller would be like the subtlety of the mental health plotline in that movie would be
The forefront.
Ferris
Forefront.
Bueller's mania is extreme, however.
And his friend? Are you kidding me? Like his friend, the hypochondriac, who's like he's basically what's the giraffe in Madagascar?
Melvin?
Melvin. He's like the giraffe in Madagascar. The whole movie. He's always like, oh, that's why we're going here. So he's like Ross from Friends.
And Eeyore.
Eeyore.
I guess we can go do that.
The cinematic tradition of Eeyore, Ross, and Ferris Bueller's best friend, and Madagascar's.
And Melvin, the boy.
Melvin.
Melvin. Damn, dude. Fucking yeah, it's pretty lit. It's pretty lit to be sad sometimes, you know.
What was that thing that? Oh, so this is a funny story. So you know Kanye West's album called Yay?
No, I've never heard of this.
I mean, yeah,
What is
you know,
Kanye?
yeah.
Who?
You know that one album that we've discussed on this podcast.
Right.
Episode 2. But anyways, you know how on the cover it says, what is it? I hate being bipolar. Being bipolar is awesome.
Yeah.
So that year, I tried to put out an album that also had a different album title from the cover. And when I tried to put it out, they said that legally there was an issue because you could not put out an album with a different title than the album cover. And this was the same year. This was probably 2 or 3 months after Kanye put out this project. So I am emailing them in correspondence back and forth for months, sending them examples of albums that they have on their platform that do this. And they're like, sorry, sir, you just need to change it. And I was like, you just need to change it. And so I had to change my album cover to the album. It says Trolls Like to Live Under This parentheses bridge rather than the actual album title. So it would have been like them could be like, Kanye, you need to call it I hate being being bipolar is awesome. Parentheses. Yeah. Mr. West, please. Yeah, it was one of the moments where I was like, I have no artistic privilege yet. I was like, I have no clout, no power.
Yeah, but that guy at Spotify who has to make that phone call, they're like, you got to tell Kanye West he can't do that. And he's like, okay. And then they come over and they're like, you gotta tell this kid Scott McRae, who has less than 1,000 views on his albums, that he can't do this. And he's like, okay.
He's like, oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. It's like, hey kid,
cut that shit out. Yeah, dude. Sucks having no clout, doesn't it?
It's awesome. I hate having no clout. It's awesome.
Don't you guys hate when you make jokes and somebody explains why the joke is funny for you?
Yeah, I kind of like it though.
Sometimes I think it's funnier than the actual joke.
Yeah, because it
If
kind
it's
of
delivered properly.
it just makes me feel so much better than whoever is doing it.
I just feel better than them.
I do, because it's like really you felt the need to explain the joke while people are laughing.
Especially the person who's like kind of insecure about it and people are laughing. There's something so funny about like did you guys get it even though you're laughing? Like that's a sweet human thing. That is really adorable. But that's why there's no comedy theory, I think. Like how much fun would it be to read a book about like explaining how to be funny? On that note, we'll be right back. For that food for thought. Welcome back.
Damn, I felt like I had something to say, but no, I didn't.
Are you wearing Tommy? Is that Tommy Hilfiger?
Yeah, it is.
Damn, is that like a $200 shirt?
Redacted.
I remember when, speaking of young Tommy Hilfiger, we can talk about Tommy
Yeah,
Hilfiger. I was like, wait, hold on. I was like, we don't know him personally.
For no reason right there.
But you guys remember when Tommy Hilfiger was like getting accused very strongly of just being racist?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Did you
remember
remember that? All about
Yeah,
that.
I was about to say, I used to like think I couldn't wear. Oh yeah, I fell into it when I was younger, because I'm pretty sure.
And then it turned out to not be true at all.
Yeah, it was
fucking-
either my mom
Although
or dad that
there
told
could
me.
still be some racism there.
I mean,
But that
it's-
situation was so blown out of proportion.
right? Yeah, it's like but yeah.
Can you guys give me like the base like details? Like what was I have no idea about this.
I think
It
he
was
was
like
on
he
like
said something.
Oprah or something like that. He was on Oprah's show and said that he initially didn't make his clothes for black people, which I mean makes sense. You know what I mean? Because like if you're making high-end clothing and black people don't have money, you know, it's not like you would be making it with them in mind.
It's kind of actually weirdly self-conscious of the socioeconomic situation.
Right.
Also, just fashion-wise, there's fashion directed towards certain demographics.
Right. And so I think it was like something that was pure in intent that was just completely misconstrued,
Definitely.
like times 1,000.
Also, one of those things you're thinking about as a CEO of a company that like you don't register might sound like inhumane to other
Because you're
people.
thinking of it like from a business standpoint.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I'm marketing towards this group.
Because they make me money. Right.
And it's like you can say that in a business setting, but you, I guess, can't say that when speaking to the
Because
public.
Tommy Hilfiger would be happy to sell stuff to black people if they're buying his stuff like that.
Yeah, now they are. And
Yeah.
I think it was like in the start, like the beginning of black people starting to get into Tommy and shit like that, and
Gotcha.
more high-end shit being desired. But he was saying like pretty much along those lines, like I just made it for white people initially because they are who I thought would spend the money and have the money and all that type of shit. And then it was like, and this was like way before social media and shit, so
Wow.
it was just like taken out of context and put online.
Oh,
like just online. I don't even know where, but it was just online.
Back when people used to have like forums.
Shit like that. Yeah, and like people would talk about it, and then like someone would look at the forum, see someone talk about it, and then take that and make another
thread,
article, thread or whatever the fuck. And so it just became that Tommy Hilfiger was racist and this and that, and hated black people and shit like that. And that's how it came to me. And so I used to think that Tommy Hilfiger hated black people and I couldn't fucking wear his clothes and shit like that. And it just was not true.
Yeah.
At all.
That's crazy.
Like, I mean, he said those things.
He said those things.
It wasn't, I don't think it.
Right, with racist intent. Yeah. Definitely, yeah.
It's just crazy that even.
If anything, it might have been a comment on the situation.
The actual situation in America.
That he was forced to be put into as a fashion designer.
Of high-end.
And speaking of which, now that we're
really
talking about fashion, I'm just Hugo Boss. That one's. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
I'll write it down for next week.
Yeah, I was thinking about Virgil Abloh recently because street fashion has blown out of the water in the last couple of years.
Right.
It used to be an underground scene, and then it's been taken to the mainstream now
Because of Asian fashion, like we take so much from them and never admit it. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, no, I mean that's true.
Yeah.
But I saw something recently where Virgil Abloh just came out with his summer fall 2020 collection, and then he had Paris Fashion Week and all that stuff just recently. And there were some other small name artists who said that he just blatantly ripped him off and took his stuff, which has not been the first time that he's been accused of blatantly ripping off smaller designers. And to that point, there's also the conversation of like, because Off-White and a lot of fashion industry is now under heat for racism because there's this huge culture of racism in fashion. And that Virgil Abloh has created this whole image through Off-White, which didn't do much to promote, black fashion or careers or anything in that sort. It was sort of ripping off street fashion, which was created, through Asian influences, and then African American actually wearing that stuff. And he just took it, made money, and then continued to profit off of this image, like so many fashion companies do, which is what they're being raised about. But like him specifically, and then got hired for Louis Vuitton, and then now has the biggest possible platform, the most money, can collaborate with whoever he wants, can even ask people just for their ideas, and probably will get approval. And he's still ripping people off and like, not really doing much, and he's never really been outspoken about that stuff either. For somebody who has such a big platform, even LeBron is vocal about things, even if it's
even if he contradicts himself down the road.
But
I think it's.
I'm not saying I have no idea what his reasoning is for that or anything like that, but I just think it's interesting.
It is interesting.
It's a different, platform.
Yeah, I feel like the way it's kind of looked at with him is that he was supposed to be a nigga that could not necessarily be the savior, but like could be the beginning of black fashion designers like getting their names up and being in the public eye. But then he instead decided to be like a culture vulture type of nigga who would take as much as he wanted and was okay with taking from the culture, but would not give back, and still has yet to give back. Like his version of giving back is, oh, but look at this that you would like to wear, instead of like actually helping people out, like little names that he can pick up and shit like that.
Like he thinks his fashion is his contribution to culture.
I mean, maybe it's not even necessarily that, but like it hasn't helped. He just doesn't do shit. But yeah, actually probably it is that. It probably is that he's like, oh, well, I'm a black man and it's big now. Like I'm big and fucking Louis V and da-da-da-da. So me making this is changing history. You know what I mean? I'm a black man in fashion now, that type of shit.
The passive contribution aspect of it. Yeah, which was unfortunately a privilege afforded to white folks, which is, unfair, but absolutely.
Yeah, right. But I mean, like, there was fucking, what's his name that's on Shark Tank? Damon Damon Johnson.
I don't know.
The black dude that's on Shark Tank that created Fubu.
Oh shit. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
And he's on Shark Tank
Yeah.
next to the three.
That's a
fucking
pretty-
Mr. Wonderful
that's a
who
pretty
just
big deal.
throws money at niggas. He's one of those 4 niggas that just throws money at people. And he did it through fashion. And every time somebody comes on there with clothing and shit, he's like, you should probably come with me because I'm tapped in. So it's like, if Virgil Abloh is looking at it that way, it's not, you're not doing shit. Because it's like, there's already a few niggas who've done that. There's fucking Damon Johnson, whoever created N1.
Oh yeah.
Right.
That nigga did it. Fucking
Wasn't industrial also a?
Industrial.
I might be wrong on that one.
Never
I have
heard
to
of that.
research that.
Fucking
Even Kanye West developed a lot of.
um
You don't think so?
well, I mean,
think he did.
he developed a lot, but it was like
I meant of like. I mean, yeah, but like I meant he like developed a lot of like he well, at least. I saw some things about him creating opportunities for black like fashion designers and stuff, like stuff like that, creating platforms for them.
Yeah.
At least to the public eye, you know.
Yeah. And also on that note, gonna have to cut you guys off. That was fantastic. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, subscribe, leave your comments. Good, bad. Love the bad ones.
Ugly.
What are you guys plugging this week? Anything?
my plug is leave a bad comment and I'll fuck you up.
Watch Happy if you can.
Listen to Energy by Rio, the Young OG, and RMC Mike.
It was a fantastic
And check
song.
out BFB to Pac-Man. Anything by him.
Yeah, his interview in Pitchfork's pretty wonderful. All right, thank you guys so much.
Like, Ducky Joint.
Ducky
We're gonna say
Joint.
we're back. DJ Ducky Joint.
We're back.